You're listening to the Hustled Up Podcast. We're Holly and Laura, besties since birth, cleaning business owners, multi-passionate doers, and founders of the Hustle Haven, a modern business education and networking collective built for fellow entrepreneurs who crave growth, support, and real connection. Now, we're your go-to girlies for the real side of entrepreneurship. We're covering wins, fails, and the messy middle. So come on in and let's talk branding, booking, burnout, and everything in between. If you're in serious need of tips, tea, total transformation, and that let's freaking go energy, you're in the right place. Grab your earbuds, turn up the volume, and let's hustle up. Hello, friends. Welcome back to the Hustled Up Podcast. I am one of your gracious hosts. My name is Holly, and today I am flying solo on this episode because Laura is killing it with the business and I could not interrupt her. Sometimes the business gets busy, and today we had tons of leads. So Laura is over there slinging sales calls, making us money, honey. So I told her not to worry. I got you. I'm going to take on this episode. So we're going to have a goodie but quickie. And I figured that I would talk about something that is super near and dear to me personally, something that I truly geek out over and I am so obsessed with, and that is personal branding. And whether you are running a service-based business like myself and Laura, or you're launching a side hustle, or you're just trying to stand out in a digital, noisy world, this episode is for you. And there's something you can take away. Personal branding truly matters. And we're going to talk all about how to present yourself authentically and with intention. And we're going to talk about why personal branding is so important. And I'm going to give you a couple of strategies on how to build yourself a strong and personal brand. And hopefully you will leave this episode like, okay, I'm ready to be me and I'm ready to really just put myself out there in the best possible way. So if you want to learn all about personal branding, hang tight. We'll be right back. Hey, business owners, are you looking for a better way to communicate with your employees? Whether you've just grown tired of your boring, unresponsive email threads, or you're sick of paying tons of money for something like Slack or Connect Team, Discord is your answer, and I'm going to teach you all about it. In the Hustle Haven's brand new course, Discord 101, I am going to walk you through step by step on how to create a Discord server for your business. This detailed course features over 90 minutes of video content, as well as a bunch of PDF downloads to get your server ready to absolutely slay your employee communications. Get ready to level up your company culture with this free platform. Don't wait any longer. Discord 101 is the course for you. Okay, so like I said, today we're talking about personal branding. And before we jump into anything, I just have to say that while I am a huge fan of a cute website and pretty colors and a nice logo, your personal brand is so much more than that. It is how people experience you. And honestly, this isn't just a way of presenting yourself digitally. It is how you carry yourself in your day-to-day life. You don't need to build a brand that is separate from who you are. And I know that's kind of a challenge because I don't know about you guys, but it's hard to kind of figure out who you are. I feel like I am in a never-ending vortex of self-discovery, but it has taken me time and thought and consideration and trial and error to kind of figure out who I am and who I want to be. And as a business owner, it was hard to kind of figure out how am I supposed to present myself while not losing myself, if that makes sense. But the beautiful thing about building a personal brand is that it also builds trust, and you don't want to be somebody that you're not. It all goes back to your core values and your personal mission and just genuinely who you are to your core. Another thing that is so important to remember is that people don't buy from businesses. They buy from people and they buy with emotion. So even to just get the ball rolling, it is important to have a strong personal brand and to show up consistently, authentically, and powerfully. And another beautiful symptom of having a strong and welcoming personal brand is that not only are you going to attract ideal clients in your business, but you're also going to attract collaborators, colleagues, and even employees, people who want to work for you because they support you. They love who you are and what you stand for and what your brand is all about. And obviously, it goes without saying, but your personal brand should tie in with your business brand. And as somebody who now owns multiple businesses, I can say that it's definitely not easy, but it is doable. And once you kind of get the hang of it, it does become a lot easier. So something obviously about me is that I am playful and girly. Even all of my social media channels just say I'm the girly entrepreneur. It's the diary of the girly entrepreneur. And I'm approachable, right? And I'm kind and I'm caring. And how did I work that into my businesses? Well, first of all, with my cleaning business, it was really easy because we have Laura and we are best friends and we both have the same core values, which is super important when you're going into business with somebody, but that's for a different day. That's a different episode for a different day. But it is so important to take those core values that you have and put them into practice and put them into your business. So for us, like, we are kind and we're reliable and we're trustworthy. And these are things that are super important, not only to the business, but to us on a personal, deep level. So people see those core values and they think, wow, those are the type of girls I want to work for. And it just so happened that our best friendship kind of our core values are everything that a best friend demonstrates, right? So it kind of was very easy for us to create our business brand and say, we're your best friends and this is how we are. We're going to treat you like a best friend and our employees are going to treat you like a best friend. And because of that, we're attracting the exact client that we want to serve. And we get along with all of our clients and our client turnover is pretty minimal and we're able to keep our numbers good. So it all kind of like plays together. But it all starts with you. It all starts with your personal brand and who you are. And when people start to feel like they know you, then they're going to start to root for you. And then eventually they're going to buy from you. So it is so important to truly put yourself out there. Now, granted, there are ways to like run a business and run things without putting yourself out there and having that personal brand, but that is not what this is about. This is about putting yourself out there, connecting yourself to your business or your businesses, and building that level of trust with honestly everybody who runs into you. So, with that being said, let's talk about building your own personal brand. I think that the first thing you need to do, and this is not with your business, this is with you as a person. The first thing that you need to do is figure out who you are. And like I said, it's a never ending journey, but everybody has a message and a passion. So you need to get clear on your message. What do you stand for? What do you want people to feel when they hear your name? So for me, again, it's easy. I want people to kind of just feel like, oh, that super fun and playful and smart and intelligent and hardworking girly entrepreneur who's so obsessed with running her businesses. Yeah, she's passionate. She's fun. I definitely want to buy from her. That's how I feel. That is how I put myself out there. And I think Laura kind of does too, to be honest. I think we're both pretty similar in that way. But that is what you want to figure out. What is your message? What are you passionate about? What do you stand for? How do you want people to feel when they interact with you? How do you want them to think of you when they hear your name? So once you do that, then you're going to want to be consistent. And this is not just online, but for the sake of this episode, we are going to talk about personal branding like on a digital space because I do feel like kind of once you start to understand yourself and what you stand for, you're going to start presenting that way in your everyday life, right? So this is more so like getting that onto like a social media and digital footprint. So you're going to want to figure out how you are going to relay this message that you stand for and your message. How are you going to relay it to people? How are you going to present yourself online? Maybe you want to create a really good website and, you want your captions, for example, on your social media channels and your presence on social media to reflect your brand. Maybe you want to motivate other entrepreneurs. Maybe you want to just talk about mindset. Maybe you want to I don't know, whatever it is, whatever you're passionate about, maybe you want to keep doing that. And once you are doing that, you need to do it consistently and you want to do it across the board. So, even with like color recognition and brand recognition, you can do that for yourself too. And it's so funny because to this day, it's hilarious. everybody knows that I'm obsessed with the color pink. So when people see anything that is the color pink, they are literally sending it to me. Like if they're out shopping at a store or something, they'll send me a picture of something that's pink and be like, this made me think of you. They also know I love Hello Kitty. So they're going to send me Hello Kitty things. But what's really good about this type of thing, like having such a strong personal presence, is that now I got people thinking of me. And sure, maybe they're just sending me pictures of like pink things that they're finding in the store or whatever. They're sending me funny memes about the color pink. I don't know. Either way, I've presented myself in a way that now people are thinking of me. And even if they're not buying from me right away, it is something that they may decide to do down the line. And so if you're able to keep yourself fresh on somebody's brain, there is a chance that when the time comes that they need whatever you are offering in your business, they're going to choose you first. Another thing that is super important to remember is that you should be consistently sharing your personal story. I think that, no, I don't think. This is definitely like, this is just how it is. We all have a message for a reason. We don't just think of it one day. It's part of maybe how we grew up. It's how we were nurtured, and maybe a little nature. Maybe it's hardwired in our brain somewhere. But a lot of it stems from something we went through, something that we saw somebody else go through. So it is so important to share the why behind what you're doing. And there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, it is going to make you relatable. I feel like a lot of people tend to just share what they want to share and there's no reasoning behind it. So then people are kind of like, I don't know why I care about this. Why should I care about this? But when you're sharing your personal why, maybe something that you went through or something that has made you feel this way, people are going to be like, oh, I can relate to that. I went through that. I so badly sympathize with that. And then they're going to start to connect with you. It is super important to constantly be sharing your story with others. And it's also going to build that level of trust. And it's going to make people feel like they know you before they even know you. And once people start to know you, like I said, that's when they start to root for you. And then that's when they start to buy from you. And then the last thing that I want to cover on this when it comes to personal branding is that your visuals and your online presence, it needs to all have intention. So I did cover this already, but sharing graphics that represent you, using colors that represent you, even using fonts that represent you. These are things that are going to help people recognize you and then remember you. So even on your personal channels, on your website, you should have a personal website. Make sure that everything is with intention. I do not know how I got through this episode so quickly. I feel like there's more I should be sharing, but I really wanted to keep this super simple and just remind you to show up. Just show up anyway. Your personal brand doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have the perfect website and the perfect color palette and the perfect edited photos, and you don't have to have it all together. I feel like that's another thing. People think that their personal brand has to be strong and like they have it all together. It doesn't. In fact, one of the literal parts of my personal brand is that I don't have it together. My original life plans didn't pan out the way I wanted them to. And honestly, I'm just finding my way through life and I'm finding my way through business. And it's something that you guys follow us for. All of you who are listening to this know that Laura and I are young and we don't have a business education and we're still learning as we teach you. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to have it all together. You don't have to have the perfect website and you don't have to spend crazy amounts of money on your personal brand. You don't need to do any of these things. You just need to figure out who you are, what your message is, what you represent, how you want people to perceive you, how you want them to experience you. Once you do that, and then you start showing up both in real life and on social media and in the digital space consistently and authentically in the same way, people are going to start to be your fan. You're going to make fans, and those fans are going to want to buy from you. And if all of this feels super overwhelming, which it might, start with describing yourself in 3 words. What are 3 words that describe you that you are most proud of or that you want to present the most? Just start with 3. And then you can start to build your brand from that and make sure that you show up in that way online and offline. So with all of that being said, I think that's a wrap on today's episode. I gave you guys a nice short one, but as my mentor always says, done is better than perfect. So I hope that I inspired you to start really thinking about how you show up to the world. I really feel like this is more than just getting people to buy from you. I think that's why I love personal branding so much. I feel like it goes so much deeper because when you are living and presenting authentically and like truly who you are down to your core and not hiding yourself, I do feel like that is when we are most happy. And I know that's the case for me. I thought that I had to be somebody specific for so long. And I'm done with that. This is me, the person who doesn't have it all together, the person who loves to go shopping, the person who loves the color pink and Hello Kitty, even though I'm 34 years old. This is who I am. And I think people appreciate the fact that I am just who I am and putting myself out there as the Hot Mess Express person who is obsessed with owning her businesses and obsessed with working in them and obsessed with teaching my fellow entrepreneurs and obsessed with working with the best clients in my cleaning business and obsessed with leading my employees. That is who I am. And people know it and they see it. And that's just how I present. And I don't even have to work at it. It's just who I am. And so once you start to really figure out who you are and not be afraid to show it and not be afraid to show yourself, it's going to magically happen for you too. And I feel like I haven't done this in a while, but I am going to go ahead and shamelessly ask you that if you loved today's episode, we would absolutely love it if you could pause this and give us a 5-star rating wherever you are listening. Leave us a little love letter on Apple Podcasts as well. It helps us get our message into the earbuds of other fellow entrepreneurs who are trying to figure out their way or just need a hype girl in their ear and a voice of encouragement. And don't you worry, Laura will be back with me next week, but I'm going to go ahead and hop off here and go eat dinner because your girl is starving. So, as always, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to connect with us. I will post all of the links in the show notes below, so no worries about that. And do let me know if this episode was helpful. You guys can always slide into my DMs personally and let me know if you're a branding nerd like me, because I would absolutely love to talk about personal branding. And it would just make me so happy to hear that you guys love it too. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.